Good morning guys, Pete Moxon, MoxonMuscle. So today I've got some arm footage for you. I'm going to be running that over the video while I'm talking, so you've not got to stare at this ugly face. So here's the footage, and let's begin. So today, what I'm going to be talking about is why FAD diets don't work. Okay. Now what I mean by FAD diets is things like the Atkins. It's things like your low GI. I'm going to have 25,000 kilos of fat before breakfast and then eat nothing else for the rest of the day. Those sort of diets, okay? I don't mean things like keto. I don't mean things like a standard bodybuilding diet. What I mean short-term fixes to long-term problems. So, as I said, the first example of that is your Atkins diet, okay? So for those of you who aren't aware, your Atkins diet is it's almost a keto diet, but it's primarily meat, okay? So it's things like red meat, as much meat and animal products as possible with as few carbs, okay? Now the first problem of this is while you get immediate fat loss and while you get immediate quick progress in terms of how you look, you completely mess up your metabolism. And this is kind of where I'm going with this entire video, is not a massive bash against diets. It's not that there are issues in terms of health. So as I said, the first example I used was probably the most famous of all of these fad diets, which is the Atkins. So high fat, high protein, low carb, okay? Eat as much animal products as you want, avoid anything that gives you any energy, okay? Now, the main problem with the Atkins diet is it's temporary. And that is the same issue that there is with every single one of these fad diets. They're not a lifestyle change, they're an immediate and short-term solution. Now, anytime that you do that, anytime that you go into a huge caloric deficit, anytime where you stop your body from having enough nutrients as it needs, your metabolism is going to slow down. Now, for those of you who maybe aren't as clued up in terms of, or maybe a bit new to fitness, maybe new to bodybuilding, maybe don't fully understand how your body works, your basal metabolic rate is the amount of energy that your body requires a day to maintain its body mass. So your muscle mass, your fat, etc. If you go underneath that BMR, you will lose weight. If you go above it, you gain weight. It's very, very simple maths. It gets more complicated when you get into things like what that mass actually is comprised of, whether it's fat or muscle. But for the purposes of today, over BMR, gain weight, lower than BMR, lose weight. Very, very simple. Now, the problem with fad diets is that they lower that BMR because your body goes into a state of starvation. Your body doesn't understand that you want to have a six-pack, and it doesn't understand that little Julie on the beach might want to see your little ripped abs. All your body thinks is survival, okay? So if you go into a 12-week plan with a massive caloric deficit and start doing more cardio, start training more, because you want to get as ripped as possible, that's fine. But after you've been on the beach, after you've been on holiday, and you start eating again, and you start eating normally, you start eating those carbs, you start eating the fat sources that you require to build muscle, you gain fat like mad, okay? Say that you're a 220 pound guy, okay, about 20 years old. Your BMR is probably about 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day. If you're on an Atkins diet, or if you're on a strong, hard diet, but you're only eating 2,000 calories a day, that becomes the norm. That becomes your new BMR. So what effectively happens is that when you start bulking, and when you start increasing your calories to say 3,500 to 4,000 calories a day, as is quite normal for bodybuilding, rather than being at a 500 calorie surplus, you're suddenly at a 1,500 calorie surplus. So what happens? You start gaining fat, you start getting chunky, okay? Now you will gain muscle. Of course you're going to gain muscle. If you're eating 1,500 calories more than you need a day, you're going to put a lot of mass on, you're going to put a lot of fat on. But that's the issue. I don't want to go into a bulk, gain 20 pounds and then have to lose 18 pounds of that because I've only gained 2 pounds of muscle. It's very, very inefficient. It's far better to keep your metabolism high. So even when you're dieting, a diet should be done on the most amount of food possible to lose body fat. It shouldn't be extreme. This is why 16 to 20 week diets are far better than 8 to 12. It's because they're far less stressful on the body. they're a lot easier to maintain, and they're a lot easier as a lifestyle choice. You know, I would not want, personally, to spend the rest of my life eating nothing but asparagus, steak and chicken. To me, that sounds horrendous, it sounds horrible. It's possibly the worst idea on earth. I like pizza, I like pasties, you know, I like to eat ice cream and yogurt. If I can't eat those, there's no point in doing what we're doing, okay? The thing is, you've got to realise that bodybuilding and fitness and just being healthy in general are lifestyle choices. It's not something that you do for a year and then stop, you know. The idea is that you're supposed to be doing it for the rest of your life. And when you do something for the rest of your life, it's got to be maintainable. It can't be something that you get fed up with after 6 weeks, hate doing, and then crash out, okay? The amount of times you see someone get into fantastic shape, and then you see them 6 weeks later and they look like they've never stepped foot in a gym or eaten a salad in their life, you know, they look terrible. And the problem is that their metabolism, speak English please, the metabolism's gone, okay? You know, for me, I'm 6'5" and I'm 250 pounds, okay? I have to eat a hell of a lot of food. I have 7 eggs for breakfast and a third of a carton of egg whites every morning, as well as cheese, bread, you know, everything. I eat so much, but I can get away with that because my basal metabolic rate is so high, because all the cardio I do is fast, is high intensity. And there'll be another video that I do in the near future between the differences of high intensity and low intensity cardio. But also the foods I eat promote a high metabolism, okay? You know, I still eat carbs. I have to eat carbs because otherwise I would just lose all my muscle. Okay, carbs are not the enemy, and you need to get away from that idea. Okay, it's a very, very outdated idea that carbs are the worst thing possible. You need carbs to survive. Okay, so the next time that you're looking at getting a diet, the next time that you're looking at what you want to do in the future, what you want to, you know, eat, what your diet regimen is going to be, just think, is this something that I would be willing to do every year? And is it something that I would be willing to maintain throughout the rest of my life? And if the answer is no to that, you need to take a serious look at what you're doing and why you're doing it, and come to a better conclusion, because I promise you, if you fad diet, you will never get the rewards and get the, I'm not going to say accolades, but you'll never get the desired results, okay? And the thing is, you deserve them. If you're putting in the effort, if you're putting in the time, the sweat, the blood in the gym, you deserve to get rewards for it. And if you're not getting any rewards for it, then what's the point, okay? So, thank you for listening, guys. It's Pete Moxon, MoxonMuscle. If you like this video, like, subscribe, follow, you know all the crap. Instagram, MoxonMuscle, and I look forward to seeing you again. Cheers.